Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches, episode 136. Tonight we're reviewing Underworld, Blood Wars.
Blood Wars.
First things first, shout out to our wine sponsor, Wink. Trywink.com/moviebitches. You get $20 off your first month, so give it a try.
Yeah, do it.
Do it. Underworld is the series with Kate Beckinsale as a vampire death warrior. What do they call her?
Death dealer.
Oh yeah, they said it a lot.
Death dealer.
Death. Scout? Death.
Death dealer.
Doesn't matter. Nothing in this movie matters.
So, yes, it's the new Underworld movie of the fifth one?
The big question when you do the fifth movie in a series is, why do it?
I think maybe, I thought this was the
Fifth
last one, but...
Well, so it was gonna be the last one, but then Kate Beckinsale's husband, who's also the producer and maybe directed a couple of them, Len Weissman, was like, nope, she's coming back for one more.
Oh, good.
So, one more. We get one more. I've seen one of these.
Oh, okay.
Do not recall which one. I think Michael Sheen was in it as a werewolf.
Oh.
I think that happened.
I mean, I remember, the first Underworld coming out 2004?
Yeah, conservatively.
Right?
Yeah.
I was in high school when that movie came out. Mm-hmm. But I never saw any of them because I didn't really care. Although if I had known that they were this campy and fantastic...
Well, I'll say this. This one was much better than whichever one I saw.
Okay.
Although whichever one I saw was also pretty fucking great. I can't deny it. They both share a common thing where people are always leaving places or arriving at places. There's a lot of locations in these movies where it's like, now we're at this headquarters, now we're at that palace, now we went to this frozen tundra, now we're in the sewer, now we're going over here. I was driving places, showing up, and now we're here. Oh, we gotta go again, let's leave.
This movie was silly.
Kind of fucking great.
It was kind of great.
I can't deny I had a fucking great time watching it.
I was entertained for every of the 140 minutes or whatever, every of the hour and 40 minutes.
I was having moments of this movie where I was literally watching the movie and going, I am so not bored right now.
No.
I am completely entertained by what is happening right now. I was just yep. More? What? Yes, bring it on. And it all kind of came together for me and made sense when the credits rolled and a woman had directed it.
Yeah.
I forget her name. I think it was Anna something. I should have looked it up, but it's her feature debut.
Oh, wow.
She's done TV.
Okay.
And this is her first feature.
That makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense. But I was like, oh, so many of the choices in this movie, the character choices, there's a lot of subtlety to it where I was like, oh, of course a woman directed this. And it's all the better for it.
Sure.
Just the interpersonal relationships between people. Yeah. There was a lot of stuff.
There was a lot of stuff.
Appreciated.
Right?
It would not be in a quote unquote successful Hollywood movie, but was in this schlocky, B-level fifth sequel of this vampire Lycan series.
What the fuck is a Lycan?
It's a werewolf.
Okay.
The good news is the movie started and it was here is what happened in all of the other movies.
And I was like, oh, thank God.
I don't know what's going on. And it was first it was vampires. Then it was vampires versus Lycans. Then it was vampires versus her and Bill Nye. Then it was her and Scott Speedman. I remember that he showed up at some point. But then apparently he died in one of the movies. Then she had a daughter with him. Oh, and he's a Lycan. And she's pure blood. And so now the daughter is a pure Lycan vampire blood person, and that was what happened in the first 5 minutes of this movie. And then they told us again, which was fun.
Yes.
First it showed it all in clips,
and then it would be
told us all again in video.
I'm gonna taste your blood, and then remember it.
It was so much erotic blood flashback tasting.
Sure. I guess it was
a lot of storytelling in this movie was through erratic blood licking flashback.
It's like Assassin's Creed. You can see their memories in their blood.
This is true. So anyway, the movie begins and our favorite hottie from that movie that I forget what it's called, where his name is Four, is in it.
Oh, from the other vampire movie.
No, it wasn't Vampire.
Vampire Academy.
No, he wasn't in Vampire Academy.
Oh.
No, not Dimitri.
No, sure.
No, not Dimitri.
But wasn't Four in that?
Although Dimitri could have been in this movie.
Good vampires here, and Strigoi, bad vampires, and vampires, half human, half vampires.
No, Four was in Divergent.
Divergent, yeah.
Which was about factions.
Yeah, and like different personality types, and that movie was nonsense.
So Four shows up. That's his name from now on. I think his real name is Theo James.
Oh.
He's great.
He was pretty good.
He's growing on me.
Yeah.
So Four shows up, and everyone is tracking Kate Beckinsale because apparently she's just the best vampire.
Duh.
She can walk in the light. She can heal you from the dead.
Do we know why she can walk in the light?
No.
Cool.
At some point, Charles Dance, who's in this movie, says something like, "Oh, are the rumors true about Celine?" And he's like, "Oh yes, they are." So I guess just because. I'm not sure. Maybe if we saw the other 4 movies.
Maybe we would know. I will say, Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, girl.
She looked good.
She looked real good. She's wearing like that skin-tight Tomb Raider outfit.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that maybe a third of the budget was spent on leather and like buckles. I think that's probably appropriate, right? Can we talk about the outfits? The vampires palace, fortress extraordinaire.
Okay.
Everyone is at an Eyes Wide Shut, like Marquis de Sade-esque orgy, and it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
Corsets, just fabulous gowns and headpieces. I mean, there was so much going on. There was a lot of pictures being painted at this castle. I was like,
right.
The stories these walls could tell. I want to hear them. Can we have a whole movie about this castle?
Right?
And what goes on?
Oh my god, I love it. Wait, I have a for realsies big question that you might not be able to answer.
Probably not.
Do humans exist in this world? Because it seemed like they took a train, right?
Yes.
That seemed like it was for people, not for vampires.
I think so, but there's certainly a backseat.
Right.
And there does not seem to be a concern about oh no, people are going to find out that there's vampires.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to
because
be,
she was just walking onto the train.
Even though it's called Underworld.
Right?
It was
So, okay. Cool. Good.
Great. I'm excited about it.
I think that was the one thing that they didn't establish. There's full-on cities, and I'm like, who's living here? Because it seemed like the werewolf, the Lycans, were just killing every vampire they could find.
Yes.
So if that was the case, then it was then these cities are either murder scenes or they just don't care.
Well, the cleanup on a vampire corpse is a lot easier than a cleanup on a Lycan corpse.
You just need a dustbuster.
It's good.
A Dyson, maybe, preferably. Can we talk about how, for many times, this felt like a fake movie / a video game?
Stuff was happening. I was like, wait, what?
Some of the CG is whoa, you guys, whoa.
I mean, it didn't look garbagey, but I don't know.
It was a little Pinocchio!
Save yourself!
It wasn't that bad. It was not that bad. Some of the werewolf transformations weren't great. Remember when the main guy turns into Mr. Hyde?
Oh my god, what was that?
Oh right, so the main werewolf bad guy is totally the guy that played Brutus in Rome, the TV show, who was my favorite character on Rome.
Marius.
I think his name is Tobias Menzies?
Sure.
Something that sounds like... He was also in Casino Royale.
Oh.
He, it turns out, is taking Scott Speedman's perfect Lycan blood and juicing with it.
Yes.
And so he's beefed up, roided
But was it... Okay.
Lycan. And so when he transforms, he doesn't look like a wolf. He looks like a wolf Hulk.
Yeah. But I was confused by that because, so what, Scott Speedman was just
I really don't remember.
Okay.
They said something he died.
Right.
He was killed by that guy.
Right.
in the other movie, or in the interim in between movies, not sure. And he had really cool blood, so he stole it to juice with. That's what I surmised.
Yeah, me too. But I didn't understand why that made him into a crazy, super powerful. It seemed like he was having vampire blood. This honestly though, this is a plot line from True Blood.
Were there fairies?
No.
Were there werepanthers?
No.
Okay, so it wasn't as bad.
But there were werewolves that were addicted to vampire blood.
Oh, okay, good. There was a lot of every character was oh, don't worry, I have special blood. Everyone,
right?
It was just it's cool.
Well, and then 4 was oh, it turns out I'm a true blood. No, not a true blood. I'm a
elder, pure blood. Pure blood. Yeah. So it turns out he's the one. He's Neo. And for reasons. Oh, and then, oh my god, so much happens in this movie.
Oh, we haven't even talked about perhaps the best part of this movie.
Are you thinking of what I am thinking?
I mean, there's only one answer to that statement, so.
Oh, wait. I know what you're thinking of now. There's another part that's also pretty good.
Okay.
But I know what you're talking about. Her boy toy?
Well, her in general.
Her. Okay, so there's this main bad lady, bad bitch, who has a boy toy slave.
Oh my god.
Walks around. I mean, she had this robe that was basically spiderwebbed leather that was just covering her nips and pieces. And it was fucking fabulous.
It was fabulous.
She would just call people out on their shit. So she has this boy toy and he's her sex slave. Oh my god. And she's just you're an adequate bedfellow. And then she's shut up, you're thinking too hard, you're gonna hurt yourself. And then she was now you will go down on me.
She's shut up and go down on me while I tell you the rest of my plan.
She's I will stare off to the distance and think through my evil plan while you go down on me. I mean, it was great. She insulted him to his face and was pleasure me, please. Can we talk about how her sexy boy toy also looked like baby Mads Mikkelsen?
Sure. Yeah, I can see that. He was kind of whatever. He didn't really have a character.
That's fine. Because she was just do my bidding.
Exactly. Oh.
She knew exactly what movie she was in.
Yes.
100% to the T.
Yeah.
Knew what movie she was in.
Yeah.
And she had a lot of juicy stuff to play with.
Exactly.
So I was just I'm living for you.
Living.
You are great.
Yeah.
At one point, there's somebody who's betraying her behind her back or whatever, and she's just oh, that's nice, okay, or whatever. And then she just slits her throat and she's oh, did you think I didn't know? I did. As she's bleeding out on the floor, and she's oh, anyway. She's kind of like Charlize in the Snow White,
yes.
The Huntsman movies, where you're just we wear that gown, girl, yes. Just
Counts and crowns.
you a sassy fucking bitch in this castle. Yes, I love it. The outfits were pretty fucking great in this movie.
They were pretty
It was
insane.
less than, at one point they're all these trainees, and they're uniform, and it's all these sexy guys. It's just it's a real tailored front piece with just strips on the side, so you could see a lot of their goodies. And it was just yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I like that this movie was both for men and women.
Right.
That's what I mean when it made more sense that a woman directed this, where it was there's eye candy all around.
Yeah. I was I don't know who I'm supposed to be rooting for, because I feel bad that these vampires are dying.
If I'm choosing between vampires and werewolves, vampires.
Sure. I'm not sure why.
They're more elegant. They're
yes.
sexy,
Sure.
There's sort of
they're sultry.
Aristocratic, come live in my castle.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, with werewolves it's oh, fuck, I have to find another pair of clothes in the woods. Yeah. Oh, I'm naked in public again. That's not what I want.
Depends on who's naked in public.
I'm saying for me personally.
Oh, sure.
Oh no, I don't, no.
Yeah. Do you remember that absurd, silly scene, with Four and Marius when they're just shooting each other with
oh my god,
machine
that was
guns?
the best part. That was, aside from the cunnilingus scene, The best part was they're literally with machine guns, just like point blank, like they keep walking towards each other, and it's like fucking hilarious. And then they both go, and all the bullets like fly out of them, like
as they like re-heal.
And then they like land on the floor, like in the Matrix, like like all of them, and you're just like, what the fucking hell is happening? There was so much of them being like, that was my favorite moment.
Yeah,
I was just like, what? Like I was like, this movie gets it.
He gets it. I had a lot of fun in this movie.
It was like, this I think is the Gods of Egypt of this year so far.
Yes!
Because it was like so bad in the best way.
In the best way.
Gods of Egypt was a little like sadder. This movie got it more.
Yeah.
This movie was like, no, cheeky wink. Gods of Egypt was like, no, we're serious. Jeffrey Rush is
Jeffrey Rush
is here and he's ready to play.
Oh, no.
Actually, if anyone got what movie they were in,
It was
probably
Jeffrey
Rush. To be honest.
That movie was so stupid.
There's only 2 covens left.
Yeah.
And they go to the north, where all the vampires have white hair.
But wait, no.
Wait, with the train? Yes! And the horse! So they're just like on the Orient Express, I don't know, going through like...
They're on this random train, they're like, oh, Snowpiercer.
All of a sudden they're on Snowpiercer, and then it's fully going very fast in the snow, and she just goes, Voldar
is over that ridge.
is over that ridge. Dead
Cut to
the 2 of them on horseback, riding through the snow. Don't
know where these horses
Don't
came
know where
from.
these horses came from. Then they just get off the horses and leave them to die, and then continue to walk. And they climb that snowy waterfall. I don't know. Those horses most certainly died in the woods, by the way. They're frozen in place. They're dead on the ground. They murdered those horses. I don't know who they bartered, who they got them from, if they stole them.
I don't know.
They're dead.
It was so weird.
That scene absolutely could
Why
have
do vampires need horses?
Snip, cut, and they're walking and there's the Northern Lights. Like, it literally could have been lifted from the movie and would not have mattered. But I liked that it was there because it was nonsense.
How did they get off the train? Like, stop requested? Like, what?
They were literally just like, it's over there. Great. And then they both stood up and then they're off the train. I don't know. I assumed they like got on top.
Horses. Maybe they went to a village and they were like, hey, we need these horses.
I want to see that scene where she rolls up in her Matrix coat and is just like, give us those horses. So they get to the Ice Palace and everyone there, it's the peaceful vampires.
Yes.
And
they all have like bleach blonde.
They all look elven.
Yes.
And they're taking hot springs baths. And then 5 minutes later, all the Lycans show up.
Yeah, and they murder everyone.
Including Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah.
But then we find spoiler alert, we find out there's a spirit world where they like mummify you in cheesecloth and then send you off into the icy water. So you can show up just in time for the final fight scene, but with a fierce ombre. Our signature look is that black bob. Okay, we'll just give her a little ombre. It'll be okay. We'll work it out. And a coat, like a winter white. Couldn't tell you.
I loved it.
I loved it so much. So then, so back to the main bad lady vampire. At one point, so she is trying to steal Kate Beckinsale's blood because her blood is more pure and fabulous. Yeah. And then she gets this fucking goblet that rivals Andrew's. It was like crystal.
Yeah. Oh my god, if I could find a goblet like that, it was like full on, like actually crystal, like, oh my god.
Huge. And she's drinking the blood and it's spilling everywhere. And then she like roids out and then throws the glass on the floor and wastes more of it. And I really thought that was weird.
It was weird. It was like, that could have been useful.
Like, Brutus is saving every last drop of Scott Speedman's blood. Like it's, gold.
Yeah.
It seemed weird.
It did.
Turns out some of the things in this movie didn't make sense. Didn't care. There's a whole showdown. They're all fighting and shooting and no one's really getting hurt, but they are.
Well, but a lot of people are dying, and then a lot of people are dying in the sunlight.
There's a lot of bodies everywhere, and Kate Beckinsale and Brutus werewolf are having their showdown. And she pulls the Sub-Zero and rips his spinal cord out of his back, and it's just like it was the best. It turned into Mortal Kombat, and I was like, yeah.
And then she's just like holding this whole spine.
The whole fucking, like, half the blades and I mean, it was pretty fucking epic.
It was. But then what was interesting to me though too was that he then turns back into a human form.
Right.
On the ground, like without a spinal column. Like just like a human split in half.
Was he just like...
He was like on the ground, like you could see like his butt up above
like
the butt
half.
was like splayed open and like without a back.
Yeah.
But then she was still holding this like colossal Hulk spine, and I was like, interesting. I wonder how that like magic works.
It's not like a lizard tail or whatever. It's not still like wiggling.
Sure. Or just like I don't know, like
where you wanted it to like shrink in her hand.
I don't know. I don't know
if they're. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Right?
But then they do.
How do the bones like grow or shrink like to begin with? Yeah.
And then they cut off his head, and they're like, "We killed your leader. Leave.
Yeah.
Leave right now." I had a really fun time watching this garbage movie.
I would totally watch this movie. Like,
best piece of hot garbage. So
exactly.
far
If you're looking for a
100%.
silly, fun, good time, bring a bottle of wine into Underworld.
Yeah.
Love yours.
Oh yeah, and then like you drink every time they drink blood, and you'll just be fucking wasted.
Yes.
That's the ticket.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
This memory.
Scott Speedman.